From DefenseOne.com, spy agency ready to launch new vehicle tracking satellites. That doesn't sound like anything that could be used to violate your privacy or your civil rights or promote tyranny, could it? The National Reconnaissance Office is gearing up to launch new satellites that will enable the U.S. military and intelligence community to track moving vehicles and people from space. The Air Force wants to replace its aging E-8 JSTARS aircraft, which provide targeting data with more survivable space assets, and hand off a part of the Ground Moving Target Indicator mission called GMTI to satellites. So in other words, to do this, they were having to put people in airplanes to do the tracking, and now they want to automate the process so it can be done 24/7 anytime somebody under authority punches something into a computer and they can pull it right up. The service is requesting $244 million in its 2025 budget for its long-range kill chains program. Doesn't that sound nice? Which includes the GMTI effort and auxiliary payloads, and it plans to spend more than $1.2 billion over the next few years. We're going to get into what GMTI means in just a second, but first, just a reminder that the United States is now currently $34 trillion in debt. It also has an unfunded liabilities of $214 trillion. And look at how those numbers are clicking away. This from usdebtclock.org. And another reminder, since we're talking about quote-unquote defense spending, which is spin doctoring for military spending, the United States spends more on defense than the next 10 countries combined. That means the United States outspends China, Russia, India, but wait, there's 7 more countries: Saudi Arabia, the United Kingdom, Germany, France, South Korea, Japan, and Ukraine. Oh, wait a minute. Where's Ukraine getting their money from? Anyways, back to the story. So from BreakingDefense.com, a little bit more on that GMTI and the kill chain. Draft Space NRO, this is from back in December. Draft Space Force NRO plan for tracking moving targets floating around military. This new type of capability, it's not completely the intelligence community supporting the Defense Department. It's not completely a DoD mission without the help of the intelligence community. It's the combination of the two. And what that means specifically is the data is going to be available to whomever needs it for their operational purposes. That may be an intelligence analyst sitting somewhere that's going to do things that I don't ever want to understand. How nice. The people who are involved in spending billions of your dollars to create machines of death and that can track you doesn't want to know what it's going to be used for, potentially. I digress. And it may be data that goes to battle managers to put against a target and have a shooter engage a target. This could never be abused, I'm sure. After years of debate, the Department of the Air Force, which provides civilian oversight of the Space Force, and the National Reconnaissance Office, NRO, are jointly funding and managing the effort to develop new space-based ground moving target indicators. This is what GMTI stands for. And those are sensors that can track in near real time objects of interest, like PLA warships in the South China Sea, or Russian tanks in Ukraine, or I don't know, maybe a journalist that's been reporting on things that the government doesn't want coming out, driving along minding his own business in his Honda one day. They would never use it for something like that, I'm sure. Current spy satellites operated by the NRO can provide snapshot pictures that show movement of, say, a column of trucks headed to North Korea's missile launching sites after the fact, but cannot persistently follow them in real time. The Air Force in the past has used planes to do that job in particular the aging E-8 Joint Surveillance Target Attack Radar System, also known as JSTARS, that currently provides targeting data to air, ground, and ship-based weapons platforms. The service is retiring JSTARS, however, and intends to replace it in part with the new GMTI satellites. I'm sure those GMTI satellites will never be over American airspace. Right?